Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Extreme Rules 2021 preview and predictions. And I really got to say, Extreme Rules is in hard Samoa Joe Coquina clutch tight air quotes because there are literally only two matches on this relatively small six-match card that have any potential for anything extreme. And one of them isn't even because it has extreme rules. It's literally just because it's a triple threat and those don't have rules. So this is a weird ass show that makes no sense why they couldn't have just called it Clash of Champions again when, again, 5 of the 6 matches are title matches. And there's really no reason they couldn't have just called Roman Finn a street fight instead of Extreme Rules if they would have had it named any other pay-per-view other than Extreme Rules. I'm just very, very baffled by the decision to go with this name for this pay-per-view. But at the end of the day, there are 6 matches that we have to predict, and I think John and I both want to just kind of get through them because I know neither one of us is very hyped for this pay-per-view. John, how you feeling, man?
You said it all perfectly, so rather than reiterate anything that you said, I will just say that it's very obvious to me that WWE is prioritizing not only the draft, which you kind of said before we went live, that the draft is probably going to be a bigger deal than this, but also that the Saudi show is probably going to be a bigger deal than this.
Yes.
And, cool, whatever, but don't waste our time. And,
they
I
treat
would say
Saudi
that
shows like mini WrestleManias.
they really do. They absolutely do. And I would just say personally that, I'm at a 5.5 to like a 6 hype level for the show. I really don't care about it. It's only slightly above average, probably because of Bianca, Becky. I am excited for Liv Carmella, but solely to see Liv on pay-per-view. And I will give credit. I'm still enjoying Roman Reigns' title reign, and Finn Balor's just been so good really this whole past year and everything. So, yeah, those 3 matches are probably what gets me through it. So,
You know what,
I'm ready
man?
to get through this one.
Here's what I want to say. If I don't really think about what matches are happening on this show, and I just think about the build that the WWE has done to try and get us to want to buy this show, my hype level's at about a 4. It is
Yeah.
absolutely pathetic. I really, if it wasn't for the fact that we cover WWE pay-per-views practically religiously, I wouldn't have even known that there was a pay-per-view coming up tomorrow. I would have been like, Paul, there's a pay-per-view? But when I actually sit down and look at the card and pay attention to it and remember the way that they've built certain stories and think about how good each match is going to be, 5 of these 6 matches is going to be at least good, if not downright dope. I think 4 of them have straight up great potential. Liv Carmella, I'm a little less enthusiastic about because of Carmella, but I think that could still be a good match. The one match that I really could not give even a modicum of a fuck about is the Raw Women's title match. And that's not because I don't care about women's wrestling. Obviously, if I didn't mention this as a match I don't care about, it means that I care about Becky Bianca and I'm excited for that match. But Charlotte Flair does less than nothing for me. And Alexa Bliss at this point does somehow even less than Charlotte for me. I don't know how that's even possible. Maybe it's because the dude whose gimmick she stole got fired and she's still around using his fucking gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, again.
Frankly, that applies to both of these women because Charlotte is using her father's gimmick and he got fired too.
Yeah, not a good time for sure. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you.
So anyway, coming back to what I was trying to get around to before I sidetracked myself. Just like instant reaction, it's a 4. But if I really look at the matches and think about how good they're going to be, I could get up to like a 7.5, maybe even an 8. So we're going to average those out and say that I'm at a 6.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. All right. So let's get through these matches. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's just get to the only one that doesn't have anything really going for it as far as stipulations or consequences or anything along those lines. Liv Carmella.
I'm gonna say that I think Liv wins, and it's definitely also my fan pick. I love Liv, and I definitely think they need to start prioritizing her now. So I'm gonna go with Liv for the win here.
I'm going to be rooting for Liv, but just because I feel like the WWE has no interest in actually pushing her the way that we might want them to, I am going to pick Carmella to win begrudgingly.
All right, fair enough. Next.
Next match, we get to get this shit out of the fucking way. Charlotte defending the women's title on Raw against Alexa Bliss.
You know what? I'm actually gonna go with Alexa here, only because they want to get Charlotte up to the number of reigns, like 16. Yep. So they want quantity over quality. She never seems to hold the title for very long, so I'm gonna go with Alexa here.
And I'm gonna completely agree with you, and I don't think we need to have any kind of discussion about this match.
No, we don't, because our time is actually valuable.
So up next, I actually have us talking about the only other Raw match on this card, and that is Damien Priest defending the U.S. title against Jeff Hardy and Sheamus in a triple threat. I'm not going to lie, man. If you took Jeff Hardy out of this and just left it as Damien Priest versus Sheamus in a match with no rules, whether you want to call it Extreme Rules or Hardcore or Street Fighter, whatever the fuck, I would be fucking into this, but Jeff Hardy ruins it for me. Like, he doesn't completely ruin it. Like, he doesn't take me from like a 9 to like a 1, but he does take me from like an 8 to like a 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you. You know, man, for me, it's a shame because, like, I like Priest. I actually feel like Sheamus for the past, like, year, maybe even 2, has been doing pretty solid work, which is even more impressive when you consider that he is on the older side. Like, I think he
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Priest
40s.
versus Sheamus in a slugfest, especially if you get like kendo sticks and ladders and chairs and tables and stuff involved, that would be so much fun. Maybe they're saving that for the TLC pay-per-view, and that's why this show, despite being called Extreme Rules, has so few actual steps in it.
Yeah, I think Priest is like the star that they're grooming here. I mean, let's not forget it wasn't that long ago, maybe even only 2 weeks ago. Of course, you guys know that we don't watch Raw, we play Among Us during Raw, so I could be off. But that Priest actually pinned McIntyre.
Yes.
I thought was a huge deal for him.
He sure did.
So you know, it's very clear that he's being groomed for big things. You don't even know, now that we've had a changing of the guard with Big E and stuff, if maybe they would kind of tease Priest in the main event. Maybe he'd get drafted and he'd be teased in the main event there. But he's got a great look. I think he's definitely been stepping up his game. So I'm just going to do the safe bet here. I'm going to say that he retains.
Yeah.
I think, again, he is the priority here. And They probably have Jeff in this match to kind of protect Sheamus' credibility because they still want that heater, you know, the guy that can do the bully roll like he does and stuff like that. So Priest retains pinning Jeff Hardy, and maybe we will even take this to TLC. I don't know.
You know what, dude? I'm going to be real with you. The only guy in this match that I'm extremely confident will not win is Sheamus because he's fresh off a relatively long run with the U.S. title. That said, though, dude, I'm going to tell you this right now, and I don't even know whether I'm picking Priest or if I'm going to go with this. I could see them putting that title on Jeff Hardy just so that they can transition it straight on to Cross.
Yeah. You know, I can definitely see where you're coming from there. And, yeah, that remains to be seen because Cross, too, you have to imagine they're going to want to make him work. Despite everybody always like lampooning him, rightfully so, on Twitter because
and you know what
the fuck are they doing?
Another route that I could see them taking to get to Cross is they could have, Priest retains and then goes into a feud with Keith Lee. And Keith Lee wins it, and then Keith Lee versus Cross is the feud that happens after that.
Yeah, that's a good point, man.
Don't get me wrong. I would love for Keith Lee to get a run out of it, but I feel like all of a sudden now, for the last 2-3 weeks, maybe last month or so, Cross has become a priority on Raw, in my eyes, just from the little bit of Raw that I've really paid attention to, which admittedly isn't a lot, but it seems to me like Cross has really become a priority. They're really starting to give him a lot of promo time, making him much more dominant in matches than when he debuted. He's starting to look like a real menace, almost the way he was in NXT.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's just a concern that I have. I think I will stick with the conservative route and pick Priest to retain, but I would not be surprised one bit if Jeff Hardy does pull out a miracle here, and if he does, we know why. It's because they're hot-shotting Cross to the title.
Yes. All right. Well, interesting there. So what's next?
Usos defending the SmackDown tag titles against the Street Profits. I feel like we haven't seen Dawkins in a little while. It might have just been that he wasn't on this week and I just have a bad memory, but I am excited to see this match. It should be a lot of fun. And I am going to actually just kind of stand my ground, stick with what we kind of expect to happen, and that is Usos retain.
All right, all right. I think I'm with you there. It's weird that Profits are in this match because I really just feel like they didn't win the feud with Alpha Academy personally. But you know, Alpha Academy did get teased having that altercation with the Usos, and that's probably the route they'll go. The funny thing is with the Bloodline, like I know they're very clearly heels, but the Usos I think are still so likable at this stage that I think they could just be kind of tweener in the program. So I'm not really sweating that too much. So yeah, I think I'll go with Usos as well. I think I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah. It's kind of a tougher one because the Street Profits, I don't think, have held these titles yet, have they?
I think they have been SmackDown Tag Team Champions
Really?
before, but it's been a
Oh,
minute.
okay. I didn't. I know they were Raw Tag Champs for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they haven't been SmackDown Champs. Damn. Okay. I don't remember their run at all. Was that wasn't recent? No. Oh, okay. It was 20. Wow, it was just last year. They held the titles for like 2.5 months and then dropped them to the Dirty Dogs. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
that's
have no
right.
doubt.
That's why I don't remember it, dude. Because they never won the SmackDown tag titles. They brought the SmackDown tag titles to SmackDown from Raw because they were the Raw tag champs. And they swapped with the New Day. Remember?
Yeah.
That's what
That's
that
right.
was. Yeah, because the New Day had just freshly won the SmackDown tag titles, and the Street Profits were the Raw tag champs, and they got swapped. Their brands got swapped. So there was that segment where they awkwardly handed each other their titles.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why I don't remember the Street Profits winning the SmackDown tag titles because they never technically did. They just transitioned the Raw titles over to the SmackDown titles.
Right. Right.
So I'd like to see them actually do that, but the Usos have only had the title for like 2 months. I don't think they're dropping them this soon.
Well, we'll see. But yeah, we both agree on the Usos retaining for now. So
Yes. Our penultimate match here is our Women's Championship match, our SmackDown Women's Championship match. And I kind of instinctively just said championship match because this feels like a SmackDown show. There are 6 matches announced. 4 of them are SmackDown, 2 of them are Raw. And the 2 Raw matches just feel so unimportant for the most part. The U.S. title triple threat is definitely going to be a fun one, but of course, that Raw Women's title match feels just like the absolute worst match they could have possibly put together for this card. But then we get to the other side of that spectrum. The best, or one of the best women's matches they could possibly put together for pay per view is Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, and that's what we're getting here. And I'm very curious what you have to say about this before I say anything.
I really hope that Bianca regains the title. I feel like the end of her reign was done so dirty. I mean, I guess here's the thing. I guess we had 2 options. Either she loses to a heel and remains a babyface, which I think was a smart course, or she would have had that really dominant reign. But I think to keep those kinds of reigns fresh, you always have to have a heel turn at some point. And I really do feel like Bianca has like top star of the company levels of potential. At least, that's just my opinion. So, I don't mind her necessarily losing to a heel. I didn't even necessarily mind her losing to Becky per se. I've said before how I would have done it. I would have had it be, an actual matchup, and then Becky, she has this look on her face like she's doubting herself. She grabs the title, or she just does something that's out of character for her, and then she wins. The abruptness has always left a sour taste in my mouth. So I am hoping Bianca regains the title. Here's the thing, though. Part of me doesn't see it. I've had this nagging feeling that Sasha's going to return here and screw Bianca out of the championship because they haven't finished their business. They still haven't had their proper rematch.
That's true.
So, to me, I feel like Becky's going to beat Bianca again, but again, they're going to protect Bianca because it's going to be a Sasha screw job, leading Sasha and Bianca to maybe even, and I'll go out on a limb here, maybe even be a match on the Saudi show because we know they've had women compete there, so it's not like I'm just saying nonsense,
that'd be
right?
huge.
Yeah, because I think they've done Bailey Naomi at a Saudi show, and I know Natalya
Natalia.
was part of one.
Who was it though? Natalia Lacey Evans. That's who it was.
Yeah, so there is precedent, so I know I'm not talking crazy. So I could even see Bianca Sasha being on the Saudi show because, dude, you and I even just got done saying in the intro that they're making the Saudi show a bigger deal than Extreme Rules. So, yeah, Becky retains via Sasha Screwjob. That's my official prediction.
All right. You know what, man? Because once I make my prediction for this, we're going to just transition right into our main event. I'm going to do a little bit of a package deal here. I think we're going to get a little bit of a changing of the guard at the top of the SmackDown ranks. And I think that that's going to happen via the draft, and I think the WWE knows they want to do it, and I think that they're going to prepare us for it by having both major championships change hands in one night. I think Bianca beats Becky here, and then I think Finn beats Roman as the Demon in the main event.
Oh, wow. Well, since you already kind of showed your hand, see, man, I'm actually really conflicted about the main event. That is the one, and that's why I think a lot of my hype for the show actually comes from that one match, because this is the only match where I feel any kind of uncertainty about things, which isn't to say that I'm going to be right about the rest. We've seen me be wrong plenty, but I'm just more confident in those predictions than I am presently with anything going on in this main event. Because on the one hand, I could definitely see the Demon winning. I think it's, the perfect kind of culmination there for Finn. He gets the title back. I mean, great long-form story, too, if you're a Finn fan. You've been waiting for him to regain that Universal title back since he had to forfeit it in, I believe it was 2016.
Yes.
So it's been a long fucking road for Finn Balor. On the other hand, though, and I know we've already talked about this logic, so I'm not saying it because of that. But, the commentary on the Go Home show really did their job well by making it seem like, the Demon stands a chance and he's an actual threat to Roman and the odds are stacked against him. But I feel like heels like Roman always thrive in those situations. I feel like Brock Lesnar, I just don't see it as the type of matchup, though, where Brock Lesnar would interfere and screw Roman, because I think he wants to beat Roman for the title. Like, he even said to Paul Heyman, like, my Universal title match with Roman Reigns. He ain't going to settle for just a regular match with Roman. If anything, he's probably rooting for Reigns to retain here. So I don't think Brock's going to screw Roman by any means.
I forget what the wording was. Is Brock facing Roman at the Saudi Arabia show, whether he's champion or not? Or is Brock challenging for the Universal title, whether it's Roman or not?
My understanding, bro, was that he was facing Roman, regardless of if the Universal title was in the picture or not.
I'm sticking with my prediction then. I'm sticking with my prediction. Finn wins the title, and I think he stays on SmackDown, and I think Roman and Becky both get drafted to Raw.
Do you think... See, here's what almost makes me buy into your logic, right? Because we know Roman went to Raw on Monday. I think they won the six-man, and then there was another main event. It was like Roman versus Lashley versus Big E, and Roman pinned Lashley. So do you think that Roman goes to Raw in the big Raw program for like the beginning of 2022 leading up to Mania? Because you got to figure TLC, then Rumble, because we know Survivor Series is just the Interbrand Warfare. Do you think the big program for just the end of 2021 is Roman Big E?
Yes.
Like that's their design?
Yes, and I think Bobby actually gets brought over to SmackDown. I think Lashley to SmackDown makes a lot of sense there, too.
And then we kind of revisit Lashley, Finn. Their program, I guess, wasn't the worst when they feuded back in the day for the IC title. I believe it was. It was either IC or, I think it was Intercontinental.
For the love of God, just please keep Lashley and Sammy away from each other. Holy shit, that was horrible.
Yeah, I'm going to second that one, friend. So yeah,
I could see Lashley going after the mid-card title when he gets brought over to SmackDown right away. But you know what though, dude? If they do bring him over to SmackDown immediately, that would mean Goldberg would have to come over to SmackDown too, and they would have to have their Saudi feud before Lashley can go after the title.
Right.
Before he can go after any title, really. So, yeah, that just I just have these things in my mind, and I also agree with you that we'll get Sasha Bianca very soon, their rematch very soon. I just think it'll be for the title, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if Sasha won.
Yeah. Oh, man, I'm really struggling with this main event because I honestly, this is a case where, truthfully, I can see your logic for picking the Demon. And it actually would be, like, I will say right now, I would far prefer that than, like, The Rock or anybody coming in a lot longer. And Dominique Adams in our Discord, and I'm not saying like he's representative of the majority, but he did have an interesting statement in our Discord where he said he's starting to tire of Roman, and I have to wonder how many other people feel that way. I'm still enjoying the run, for the record. I wouldn't mind it if it went beyond next year's WrestleMania, truthfully. I think he's just that believable as a champion. But if it were to end here, I think it would be a fitting end. It'd be a bit confusing because then would we have a Fiend situation where like Finn wrestles on TV and then the Demon wrestles on pay-per-view as the champion because the Demon won the title and commentary's made great pains to make them two distinct entities. You know what I mean?
I think at this point, I think Finn would still want to wrestle on pay-per-views most of the time, but because his opponent isn't Roman fucking Reigns, he'd still be able to retain.
Yeah, I think that's agreeable. Because the draft definitely, the draft is definitely going to shake things up, at least with a couple key main event people, I would think. Yeah, like I said, guys, this is the one I struggle the most with. You know what? I'm going to be ballsy. I'm going to go in with you. The Fiend's going to win. Or, excuse me, the Demon's going to win.
Yeah.
I have Braille in my brain, I guess. But, yeah. Yeah, because honestly, if Roman retains here, it doesn't make Finn, to me, look good at all.
No.
Right? Because he's even said, like, oh, the Demon's a source of my anger from the people that said that I don't belong here and this and that. Like, Reigns is 100% emblematic of that. Like, this Roman Reigns character would look at Finn Balor and say, you don't belong here. Like, yes. I'm infinitely better than you. Yeah. So, for this Roman Reigns to beat this Finn Balor makes the latter look really bad. Whereas the former, he was champion for over a year. Like, it's not like he got crumbs for a title reign. Meanwhile, if Roman does retain, who beats him? Because I know, I'll get ahead of it. Keith Lee goes SmackDown and feuds with Roman. I personally don't see that happening. Honestly, I don't know where Keith Lee fits in the scheme. Maybe his WrestleMania moment will be winning a mid-card title, which I'll be the first to say I think is a bum rap. I think this dude's been main event ready yesterday. But I don't know, right? So I don't know who beats Roman. And to be quite honest, I'm not really enthused about Drew being the one to do it if he got shaken up. Because they had a good match at Survivor Series, but I've kind of liked Drew being in the mid-card for the time being. I think that's how you keep his top guy status strong. So honestly, I think Finn's the best option here is what I'm getting at. So I think I'll go in with you. And I'll say, yeah, the Demon's going to beat Reigns. And if he doesn't, I really don't know what to say about the Reigns title right now that Big E is on Raw. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. I'm going out on a limb here. I feel like I really did not expect you to just jump out onto the limb with me, and now I feel like the limb's about to break because we're just too much weight on it. But regardless, I'm shocked that you're joining me on this. But it'll be a lot of fun to see us fail or succeed as predictors as a team.
I would have pitched a fit because when you started talking your tone, I'm like, oh God, tell me some offhanded sentence I said. Had him like, oh, you know what, John? I'm changing my mind. No. Roman's retaining. After I went on this old spiel, I was like, you motherfucker. No, you're sticking with me. I appreciate it. So yeah, that's good. That's good. But yeah, well, we'll see what happens, man.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. All right. I mean, shit. I've got nothing left to say, man. I think I'm ready to take us home if you are.
Oh, fuck yeah. You guys already know what to do. If you don't know what to do by now, because I know, like, every person in our audience is like a faithful listener. So you guys already know what to do. So do it and just enjoy your lives. And we'll see you tomorrow for Extreme Rules, which hopefully doesn't suck.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Before we came here, I was like, so how long do you think this goes? 25 minutes, maybe a half hour tops? And yeah, by the time I get done with our outro, it'll be around 25.
There you go. All right, take us home, bud.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we definitely hope that you enjoyed this preview and prediction for Extreme Rules, which, again, I have to say, it doesn't really feel that extreme, but I guess we'll see tomorrow. Maybe they'll go out of their ways to prove us wrong on that. We will see you tomorrow, but until then, if you enjoyed this video, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, and follow us on Twitter and Twitch, as well as, if you'd like to support us, subscribing on Twitch, buying our merch on Spring, donate to our Patreon, and sharing this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities, because we are TwitWow and we are the workhorses of the YNTWCs, and we will be seeing you tomorrow night for our live reactions to this show. If you would like, feel free to post your predictions to this show in the comments down below once this video is processed. Shouldn't take too long since it's a shorter video. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night for that. Then we'll see you on Tuesday for our NXT live reactions. Thursday is Q&A. Friday is our SmackDown review. And at some point in this next week, we've got a massive Stardom 5-star Grand Prix finals show to live react to. That is driving me absolutely insane to have to avoid spoilers this whole time on. But I've been doing my best. That said, we hope to see you all tomorrow night for this show. And until then, all we need you to do is remember to stay tuned.